40 acres and a mule won't stop the homicide. Saturday cartoons say Silver Spoon, why don't you come inside? Cause we just sang the blues and pay our dues all for the genocide. Use the sixes and sectillions, please hand me the pesticide. Hey, this video here, y'all, is gonna be entitled Cartoon Correlations, alright? Now, I know y'all hear all over the place that they love putting subliminals in these cartoons. They love putting the truth with a lie within these cartoons. None of these television program cartoons, anyway, are random. Um, I said in another video that they like to make things seem futuristic when most of the time, they telling old stories, shit from the past. And I just want to entitle this one Cartoon Correlations and break down how all these cartoons and animations, they're all telling the same story from a different being's point of view. And I know you probably like, what? And these cartoons, there's so many different cartoons, they all different. Ain't no way in hell. There's a way. Like, first off, let's start off with the main beings of creation, the main beings of our known galaxy universe and of our history, from Egyptians to ancient Americans to Sumerians to Ethiopians to Russians, everybody for real across the board. Let's go through the main ones for real. Off the rip, reptilians, right? The reptile beings, found in all cultures that I just named. The beings found in all cultures that I just named. The cat and feline beings named in all cultures I just named. The insectoid beings named in all cultures I just named. Those are pretty much the primary. The reptile, the bird, um, the insect, reptile, bird, insect, and feline, right? No matter what culture you go into, when you start looking into the history of these cultures, the representations, the ancient gods and everything, they have those key figures of beings, right? Now I want you to look at society nowadays. The primary show, and of course the humanoid, the Anunnaki, can't forget us as well. But when it gets down to it, look at the main shows that have been like the longest running cartoon series, the most famous cartoon series and everything, which we'll be working with to represent the point of view of the reptiles or the reptilians, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and who they fight up against in the original joint, insectoids, Anunnaki type beings, bird beings, cat beings, that's the ops to them because it's from the point of view of the reptile. The next show, Thundercats, that represents the feline, the Lyran, the cat people, and who are their opposition in their shows? It's the reptiles, the draconians, the birds, um, monkeys and shit, and in instances the Anunnaki type beings. Moving on, the birds. Let's get into the birds. And theirs is funny because there are a few bird-related shows, but none of them are bigger than Sesame Street. Okay, and I know it's weird putting it in the same charter as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Thundercats, but you have to remember the bird race, the avians, they are the teachers for real of all the other beings. They are one of the races we would consider the ancients when people mention the ancients for real. That's who they talking about is those bird beings. The birds came before the winged serpents and the dragons. The birds were first. So of course they are going to be the elder teachers for real. So look how they did them in Sesame Street. At Sesame Street, you got this big ass bird and he's teaching cats, vampires, reptiles, etc. You know, and that's how it be going down for real. And I just wanted to use those primary examples because they illustrate history in modern times um, in a way that's direct but indirect. The truth with the lie, programming for entertainment, but also for intelligence because it's cosmic law. You can't feed beings a full lie without instilling some part of the truth. And that's the way that they've done it with entertainment and movies. They're made to move you, to move your soul. Like it's up to you to start piecing shit together, you know, after doing research and things like that. But I thought it was a dope correlation because, you know, me, I always been into cartoons and anime and shit my whole life. You know, I'll sit up and watch cartoons and shit with my kids, but I want them to know what these cartoon characters represent, the beings they represent, and things of that nature. Like, getting more specific with things, I go back to Big Bird. Big Bird was the master teacher over the rest of the Sesame Street characters and all that. Um, Look at Egypt and Tahuti or Thoth or Hermes and the Greco-Romanian shit, you know, master teacher over the rest of the beings. That's how it go. Ninja Turtles, they represent skilled fighters. They'll whoop your ass. That's some Draco shit. The Lyrans did with Thundercats. The Thundercats damn near use the exact story of the Lyran history and they shit for real. They got to go into war with the Dracos and everything and had to move on to another planet where they still ended up having to fight these niggas, you know? And shit is that's how it is. And with the insectoids, what's a good example for the insectoids? Big Bad Beetleborgs. Big Bad Beetleborgs. I don't know if y'all remember that show from the 90s, but that's a great show from their perspective for real. Insect power fighting against the other beings that I just named were their biggest enemies and things like that, you know. And it's crazy for real. Even with like another show that showed it all from a standpoint of each different one, and one show would be like Animorphs. Kid show Animorphs from back in the day. Like the 90s, they knew what they was doing, man. The 90s with in the 80s and the 90s with this cartoon programming and shit, they knew what they was doing. They knew about the cartoon connection, the cartoon correlations, man. And most of the stuff relates to ancient history of all cultures across the board with those main entities for real. So by the end of this video, those are a few examples. Keep your eyes open now when you go and you watch your movies, you watching your cartoons with your babies, or you watching your cartoons, you know, in your free time or whatever. Remember the insectoid beings, the reptilian beings, the feline beings, and the humanoid beings. And just you'll be able to break it down for yourself now for real. This is just a light little blueprint that you can follow. But I thought it'd be a good topic to go ahead and get out there today. I've touched on a few different cartoons, you know, at other different times, but I feel like this one here, yeah, this is going to be it for real. I hope that opened up some eyes and that got y'all thinking, got the wheels rolling, you know, because I'm telling you, the more research you do, you're going to see how this shit it's not a game. This ain't no hocus pocus bullshit. I'm just kicking you for real. Like they know what they doing, man. I already told y'all from personal experience. I know that most of these scripts and shit come from the Pentagon and they receiving them from other beings and shit that they done, you know, rocked with over the years and whatnot. People telling their story their way with their own characters, you know, like these characters are superheroes to them. They expressing their stories and their histories and our stories and our histories, you know, as well. So listen to it, run it back, check them shows out. I'm telling you, it is what it is. Mad love.